Hello my dear students, welcome to science class. So today we will be starting with chapter number 11, light, shadows and reflection. This is entirely a new chapter. So let's see what we are going to learn today. Today we will be learning first a short introduction on light, then the sources of light. Under that we will be learning on two sources of light, that is natural sources of light and man-made sources of light. Then we will be learning about luminous and non-luminous objects. And then we will be learning about transparent, translucent and opaque materials. Alright students, so let's proceed. Now, light is a form of energy. Light is needed to see things around us. Now, we cannot see an object in the darkness of night. We need a source of light to make the object visible. Now, during the daytime, the sun's light, it allows us to see objects. And at night, it is the light of the torch or an electric bulb or a tube light which makes us see the objects. So, as soon as the light from a torch or an electric bulb falls on the object at night, we are able to see it clearly. Thus, what we can say light, it enables us to see the objects from which it comes or from which it is reflected. Regarding the reflection of light, I'll be discussing later on. Now, we are able to see the beautiful world around us because of the existence of this light. We can read a book, we can see pictures in a magazine, we can watch television and movies due to the existence of light. And it is light which makes us see our image in a looking mirror. We detect lights with our eyes. It is one of the important sense organs which is present in the body of a living organism. Okay. Now we are going to discuss the various sources of light. Okay. So before we come to know what are the different sources of light, we have to know the definition of the source of light. An object which gives out light is called the source of light, right? Now, the various sources of light around us are you can say sun, then stars, electric bulb, tube light, kerosene oil lamp, candle, torch, then a kind of insect called firefly or the glowworm. All right. Now, the most important source of light for us is the sun. Now, the sun is a very bright source of light, even though the sun is about very far away from us. Then also its light makes the daytime bright on the earth, right? Now, at night, we use an electric bulb, tube light, kerosene oil lamp, candle or torch as the sources of light, right? The insects, that is fireworm or firefly or the glowworm, it is their very feeble sources of light. Though it looks very pretty in the dark night, but its light is so dim that it is of no use to us, right? So we can say that light are of two sources, that is natural source and man-made source. We will now learn about natural sources of light and man-made sources of light individually. Now, natural sources of light. Now, those sources of light which occur in a nature as such are called natural sources of light. Examples, the sun, it is the best natural source of light, right? Nearly all the natural light we receive on earth, it comes from sun. Other than that, the stars, then the meteors and firefly. These are also the natural sources of light. Now coming to the man-made sources of light. Man-made source or the artificial source. Now those sources of light which has been made by man are called man-made source of light. What are the examples? Few examples like I can give you: electric bulb, kerosene oil lamp, torch, other you can say like candle, tube light, etc. Those are man-made sources of light. Now we will be learning about luminous object. What is luminous object? An object which gives out its own light is called luminous object. Now the sun, other stars, then burning candle, lighted electric bulb, lighted torch, glowing tube light, television screen when it is switched on, obviously, then the flame of a gas burner, firefly, these all are luminous objects. Why? Because they can give out their own light. Okay, and these luminous objects are, in fact, they are said to be as the sources of light. Now, since the luminous objects, they give out their own light, they can be seen even in the dark. Why it can be seen? Because the light given out by it enters in our eyes. For example, I'm telling you, we can see the sun. Why? Because the light given out by the sun enters in our eyes. Similarly, we can see electric bulb at night when it is switched on, because the light given out by the glowing bulb, it enters our eyes. Next comes the non-luminous object. What is non-luminous object? An object which does not give out its own light is called non-luminous object. For example, many examples are there like table, chair, book rack, flower pot, plants, clothes, bags, carpet, mirror, camera, pen, pencil, then shoe, moon, earth and other planets. They all are non-luminous objects. Why they are said to be as non-luminous objects? Because they do not give out their own light. And the fact is that the non-luminous object, they can be seen only when the light is coming from a luminous object. Okay, now you will watch a video which will make your concept more clear. Let's watch the video. Next comes the transparent objects. Now, what are transparent objects? Now, before that, I want to say you something. That is, when light falls on a material, then three things happens. What are that? Either all the light can pass through the material, number one. Number two, only some of the light can pass through the material. And number three, no light can pass through the material. So depending on their behavior towards the light, all the materials, they can be classified into three categories. What are that? Transparent objects, translucent object and opaque objects. Okay. So let us discuss now these three types of material somewhat in details. So number one is transparent objects. What are transparent objects? Those materials which allow all the light to pass through them are called transparent materials. Okay. Examples, you can say glass, that is clear glass, then polythene bag, air, water, groundnut oil, these all are transparent material. What is their property? They allows almost all the light which falls on them to pass through. So that's why you can see clearly through the transparent material. For example, if we look at a burning candle through a sheet of clear glass, then we can see the candle and its flame clearly. This is because why? The glass is a transparent material which is allowing all the light coming from the candle and its flame to pass through it. Right? Now the window panes in our homes, they are usually made up of transparent glass. Even those who are wearing spectacle, okay, this spectacle glasses, they are also transparent. That is why you can able to see the objects which are present on the other side of the spectacle. Okay. Glass tumblers in our kitchen, they are also transparent object. Glass tumbler means the glass microwave bowls, the Borosil bowls. Okay. Then if you visit laboratory, over there you will find several test tubes, beaker, conical flask, many laboratory objects are there. Each and everything is transparent, so that whatever you are pouring inside, whatever the chemicals you are pouring inside, you can able to see it. Okay. A car windscreen is transparent, and a visor on the helmet, that is also transparent. Okay. And as I said you that a transparent object, it allows all the light to pass through them, due to which we can see through them clearly. All right. Thus, if we are able to see through an object clearly, it is allowing all the light to pass through it, and hence it is a transparent object. I hope this is clear to you, the transparent object. Next comes the translucent objects. What is translucent objects? Now, those materials which allow some of the light to pass through them are called translucent materials. In other words, we can say the light passes only partially through translucent materials. Example, ground glass, then butter paper, oil paper, tissue paper, sheet of white cotton, muddy water, clouds. These are translucent materials. They allow only a part of the light falling on their surface to pass through them. All right. Now we cannot see clearly through a translucent material. Okay. For example, like if we look at a burning candle through a piece of ground glass, here in this picture you can see this is what, this is a ground glass. Okay. Now if there is a candle flame on the other side, you can only see the dim light of the candle. You can neither see the candle itself nor the candle flame clearly through the ground glass. Okay. As because it allows only few of the light rays to pass through. Now the windows of bathrooms in our homes, these are made up of translucent materials called what? Called ground glass. So that though some outside light may enter the bathroom, but nothing is visible clearly from outside. Okay. Clouds, they are also translucent objects. Now, though we cannot see the sun through the clouds on a cloudy day, but still there is some sunlight present all around. Why? Because being translucent, clouds, it allows some of the sunlight to pass through them, due to which there is light on earth even on a cloudy day. Right? Thus, if we can see through an object but not clearly, it is allowing the light to pass through it but only partially. Therefore, it is termed as translucent object. Alright. Next is the opaque object. What is opaque object or opaque materials? Now, those materials which do not allow any light to pass through them are called opaque materials. Okay. Light, it cannot pass through opaque materials at all. Examples, you can say cardboard, the wooden cardboard, then book, wooden door, metal sheet, brick wall, stone. These all are opaque material. Here you can see this is a picture of a brick wall, isn't it? Can you see the other side of the brick wall? No, not at all, because light, it cannot pass through it. Okay. Now, if there is a burning candle, and if you hold a piece of cardboard in front of your eyes, then you cannot able to see the light of the candle flame. Okay. Why? Because this cardboard, as because it is opaque, it does not allow the light of a candle flame to pass through it and reach our eyes. Okay. Similarly, we cannot see anything through a wooden door. Why? Because the wooden door is an opaque object which does not allow any light to pass through it. Okay, so what we can conclude? We can conclude that if we cannot see through an object at all, it is not allowing any light to pass through it, and hence it is an opaque object. Alright, so let's have a short recapitulation of what we have learned today. We have learned first what are the sources of light. Out of that, we have learned about the natural and the man-made sources of light. Natural sources of light, it means the those sources of light which occurs in the nature are called natural sources of light. And what are man-made or artificial sources of light? Those sources of light which has been made by man are called man-made sources of light. Okay. Then we have learned about luminous object and non-luminous object. Luminous objects are those objects which give out its own light. Okay. Example, you can say, I have already said that lighted electric bulb, sun, then other stars, burning candle, glowing tube, television screen, etc. These all are luminous object. Okay. Now, luminous object, they can only be seen because the light given out by it enters our eyes. Okay. Then we have learned about non-luminous object. What are non-luminous object? An object which does not give out its own light is called non-luminous object. Okay. Like table, chair, book, then flower pot, plant, trees, clothes, bag, carpets, and so on. Okay. Now, if I say, suppose a book, can you able to see a book at dark? No. But when you turn on the tube light or when you turn on the electric bulb, then only you can able to see the book, isn't it? Why? Because you can see the book because it reflects the light falling on it. That is from the electric bulb. From the electric bulb, the light ray is falling onto the book, and then that light ray is getting reflected in your eyes. Okay, that is why you can able to see the book, right? Then we have learnt about transparent, translucent, and opaque materials. Transparent materials are those materials which allow all the light to pass through them are called transparent material. Here you can see three objects are there: transparent, translucent, and opaque. Okay. So transparent, here you can see light can pass through them completely. In case of translucent object, the light it passes partially, and in case of opaque objects, no light can pass through it. Okay. So that's all for today. In our next class, we will be learning about a property of light, that is light travels in a straight line. Okay. Till then, thank you everyone. Have a nice day.